And remain standing for the land acknowledgement statement. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You, please stay standing. The Salamanca City Central School District acknowledges the homeland of the Onondaga, the people of the Great Hill, the Seneca people, on whose ancestral and modern day land Salamanca School District now stands and whose water we enjoy. We stand with all Indigenous peoples in their resolve to remain connected to their land. While we cannot undo what has been done, it is the goal of the Salamanca City Central School District to recognize the history and make improvements that will benefit the next 7 generations of Indigenous students. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to start with our presentations. And would you like to do our recognitions first for the Warrior Academy?
Let's see, is Aspen on yet? Let's move right on to the next one.
Okay.
Aspen, who's our graduate, might be a little bit detained in joining.
Beeler. I have Aspen on the phone because he is in Canada and is not able to connect because of international stuff. So I'm FaceTiming with him right now. And so that's as good as we're going to get right now.
It's just perfect. Hi, Aspen.
Yeah.
So I'll turn it over to Mr. Siebert, and just remember if you could speak up a
I
little bit.
will speak up as loud as I can, but very happy to introduce and congratulate Aspen Highsmith. Aspen is our most recent high school completer, earning his GED at the end of November. We did have a small celebration with him over at Warrior Academy on River Street in December. And he's one of our students who has a lot going on. There's challenges and obstacles that he's faced throughout the course of his career with us. And he was able to overcome those. And we are so very proud of him for not giving up and continuing to push forward and ultimately finding his success. And he's already, as you can see, moved forward with exploring the world and is currently spending time in Canada and is actually pursuing dual citizenship. So Aspen, congratulations. So very proud of you. Way to stick with it.
Great.
Thank you. I don't know if they can hear me, so.
Oh, he says thank you. He doesn't know if you can hear him, but he says thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Well, and-
thank you. Yep.
Ms. Oaks, I think there's an awful lot of credit that goes to you for the work that you did as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going on to our first response presentation.
All right, at this point, why don't I turn it over to Mr. Haley, our Director of Security. We have some guests here from First Response. Would you mind introducing them?
So the first response is going to be the armed security guard that's going to be working with Salamanca. President of the company is Casey Tony and his supervisor, Noah.
Perfect. Actually, if you guys wouldn't mind just coming up so we can see you on the screen here and be able to hear you a little bit better, that would be terrific. There you go. That's good right there. All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Casey. Todd again back here. Give a little background about us, so you know. If you guys want any other information, he has some information on the back table. Been a corporation since 2018. We're a service disabled veteran company. Every single one of our employees, except for one, is either a current EMT, veteran, military, law enforcement, firefighter. Clients from Western New York to Ithaca. One of our clients is a college. I'm not going to state all of our clients at this time. We do have a college we work with. We also work off campus with the college out in Ithaca. We manage racetrack special events. Some of you probably have seen us some special events around here. We do a lot of stuff in Ithaca. Work for some local businesses out there for their big events. Okay. A lot of our employees are every day doing training. Some of our employees were at a training you guys held the other day, TCC. Got employees taking the EMT class currently. On a day-by-day basis, we have our own app. So we submit training through our app consistently. Jason Dreyer is our training coordinator. And he can submit training to all of our guys. They can do it on the site. So they can do it 24/7 from at home when they're working. And we keep up to date with current. Okay.
Myself, I've been in this industry for over 18 years. I was in the Army as an infantryman, been a firefighter for 10-ish years now, EMT for, I gave up my EMT in 2018. Renewing that soon. Todd, been in the fire department actually, what, 30 years, 35 years as of this past weekend. Assistant chief for over 7 years. We both were police sergeants for the nuclear facility in West Valley. We worked for the Department of Energy up there. We're both constables town of Ashford currently. We do not work for the nuclear facility anymore. As soon as we started the company and moved along, we couldn't keep holding up with that as well. Todd will be the site manager for the district. So any questions, concerns, anything to go from Todd in his regard. Sergeant Miller, who works in the sheriff's office as well, will actually be taking over for a couple of weeks here while Todd's on vacation. Outside of that, we have Keith Herbst. He's our quartermaster. You might see him around. Captain Katie, Isbro, Nye, all of them are military, fire commissioners. Anybody you can come up to and ask any questions. Talk to us about anything. If you have any other further questions with that on a day-to-day basis, just go up and ask them. We'll do training with everybody, and we're more than welcome to help out anytime. So, anything else needed? Any questions from any questions?
Let's have any questions. Okay,
Sure.
thanks, Keith.
Thank you. So just as a note, we've asked Mr. Cummings to join us tonight because later on in the agenda, we have a proposed contract with First Response to provide additional security for both of our Prospect and Iroquois campuses.
Great. We want to go on a tour now? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to pause the meeting briefly to do a tour of the Prospect Capital Project. And Julian, you're here to lead us?
Yeah, absolutely. You got a bunch of hard hats right over there at the end of the addition, so wants to come along.
Okay, great.
Got one for you over there.
Okay. I guess anybody's welcome to tag along, right? Okay.
So just at this, and welcome.
Thanks for the tour. That was pretty cool to see all the neat things going on here in our capital project. Since we have 4 now, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Gary John. He's going to finish this up. Oh, but you were doing so well. Yeah. All right. We approve the agenda? You gotta go back to the agenda.
Okay, all right, Carrie John, Vice President of the Board, filling in for Teresa Ray, President, who is running late herself. I apologize for being a little late myself, folks. So I believe we are at approval of the agenda. I'll accept the motion to approve the agenda.
Motion.
Second. Motion by Dale, second by, was that Greg?
Yes.
Okay.
There are a couple of additions.
Oh,
Yep, sorry.
oh. Take that back.
No, we can.
No, that's okay, we have to motion before we talk about it anyway.
Yeah.
So we're good.
So we do have a couple additions, and just for our students, being a public meeting, we're required to put the agenda out at least 24 hours. 48 hours? 48 hours before the meeting. That way the public can see what we're going to be voting on. This meeting agenda was published on Friday. So there were a couple changes since it was originally published on Friday, and what we're going to do is announce what those are right now. So we had several. The first is relative to point 7E, where we had the superintendent sign page 4 for attorney advice and then reattach the file. So the only thing that was changed was my signature was added. For 7F, G, and H, we added some attachments. The substance of the topics didn't change. For 7H, we did have a couple changes. We changed the vote location from the multi-purpose room to the gymnasium for that particular topic. The district clerk office was changed from 50 Iroquois Drive to 734 Broad Street, which is now where it is currently located. And the times for voter registration were changed from 8 to 3 to 9 to 4. We added item 7K, which is the first response contract. We added 7L, which are the motion or the request to award contracts for the capital project phase 3.4. And then we added item 9C, which were the IEC meeting minutes from January 11th. Other than that, nothing was changed on the agenda since it was first published on Friday.
Did all agendas fit this?
Yeah, and what we've been told in the past, as long as the attachments are there. They've been very good, but they said since the attachments are there, we're okay to continue on. Because the resolutions are so long.
Well, yeah, it's just hard to follow this because it's printed over.
Yeah. It's the program of the street.
All right, we had a motion by Dale, second by Brad to accept the amended agenda. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carried. Okay, that takes us into recognitions and presentations. First up is Warrior Academy Age SCP graduate. Oh, we did?
Yeah, we're on the
Oh.
Yeah.
We're on what?
D.
Oh. Thanks for telling me. All right, skip that. We're on item D. Presentation, District Technology Plan, Personally Identifiable Information, and NIST.
All right, Mrs. Brown.
I'm Marcy Brown. I'm the Director of Educational Technology and Information Systems, and I'm going to share some of the stuff we've been doing here for the district. First off, we wrote our district technology plan last year. We submitted it to the state, got it approved, and we've been working on it. We started working on it even when we were writing it because there was things that we felt were very important and would take us into 23 and 24 to complete. So first off on it is that we wanted to increase usage of our enhanced learning environment. So our LGI, our multi-purpose, our auditorium. So we started with the upgrades to the LGI. We added audio and video components there to increase the usage of that space. The auditorium is currently under construction. We have added all our video components at this point, and the company that we're working with, PCC, will be in on Friday to finish the installation of some of those video components. The audio components, however, are back ordered because of the pandemic. So those will, as they come in, those components will be added and updated. My big thing for the odd was that we make it user friendly so that anybody could walk in, and instead of having the big soundboards and everything that nobody knew how to turn on, we've simplified that. So it is much more user friendly, or will be much more user friendly moving forward. The thing we are currently spending some time doing research on and figuring out is digital signage. That's a big piece. Goal number 2, hire a full-time computer teacher for Seneca. We have done so. That was done over the summer, and she's working directly with Sue Schnoffer on building that curriculum and establishing rapport with students. Go ahead there. Main goal there is to increase student proficiency in grades 4 through 7 on use of computers. Goal 3 is a one-to-one device initiative, K-12. We were held up in kindergarten, first, and even second grade to a certain extent because the devices students currently log into, they have a 9-digit password that includes letters, numbers, and symbols. And kindergartners don't know their letters, numbers, and symbols yet. So Tech office spent an extensive amount of time trying to figure out how to do that and have it still be user friendly. So we enlisted some people from Erie One in conversation and came up with that we would have kindergarten first and maintain it through second and third grade, the ability to have the kids use a PIN to log in. So now they have 4 digits. And the 4 digits are on a sticky on their device. They can get in. When tech built the devices, they got the devices established, set everything up, logged the kids into ClassLink, made sure all of their apps opened in ClassLink, set all their passwords. So those kindergartners walked in the first day, opened their device, punched in their password, selected Edge, and they were off going in any program the teachers chose for them to engage with. And the first few weeks of school, we worked diligently down in kindergarten and first grade, specifically because they're the ones that went from iPads to devices, working with those classroom teachers to ensure that the kids could get in. There weren't issues. There were a couple of kids had some issues with some stuff, but 200 kids, we had everybody in within a week. So somebody's at the door. Thanks, Mr. Bertozzi. The fourth goal is to, and this one's the one where this one and the digital signage are 2 pieces that we're truly working on. If you ask any of our teachers, they don't want to fill out surveys, they don't want to answer questionnaires, they don't want to explain what or how we're doing things. But what I have found in the past, I've been doing this a long time, so at least 10 years, is that we can all get in and manage Power School. We can do Schoology, we can do Unified Classroom. We can get in and do the things that we need to do in those programs, but we don't have as educators, we don't have the basic literacy in some of the functional programs that we need to have it in. And I find that interesting because we didn't offer that PB to start with. So there was no Word for teachers. They handed us a computer and said, here you go. Have fun with that. Learn Word, learn PowerPoint, learn Excel. So people wanted to do it. They did it on their own for many years. And I find that when we transition from one program to another, that's where we struggle, is that ability to take basic computer skills and use it efficiently and effectively. So I want to build that capacity with our teachers, and that's one of my main focuses. And a lot of them do have that, but there's still pieces and parts that are missing. When I walk into classrooms, I have to show people how to do screen shares because they don't know that they have a monitor in front of them and they can put something on their computer and something different on the monitor. That's a piece. So that's second component of this presentation is Ed Law 2D, which is a New York State law that requires us to protect student information. It also requires that we protect teacher and principal data, which is just APPR scores essentially. I'm going to hit on student data here in a second because I got, don't get happy. But I want to touch on the teacher and principal one right now. Teacher and principal data is really their APPR scores. And we have to protect it in the sense that we don't share it out, but it doesn't fall into the same category as student information. The one piece that they shared when I was at a meeting not too long ago was that one of the principals accidentally sent out a completed APPR document to another teacher, not the original teacher was intended for. So that's where that's the part of it we have to ensure we're protecting. Student PII, the little video clip's coming up, it's kind of cute. But in protecting that, we are required to get third-party contracts from any software companies we use to say that they are protecting it. They're encrypting data, they're not sharing our student information, all that kind of stuff. So let's see if I can hold this. Yeah. I'm handy most of the chair. And what do you want? Hold on. Can I have sound? I'm not gonna have sound. Yeah, no. All right, so student PII is any information that would allow a reasonable person to identify a child with reasonable certainty. And I don't like this clicker. Jared, can you hit play again? Sorry. That includes their name, their address, their email address, parent's name, date of birth, place of birth, mother's maiden name, phone number, cell phone number. Anything that would allow somebody outside our district to look and say that is so-and-so. Social security number. It's better with the sound, I wish I. Who's responsible to protect it? Anybody that has a salemaka.ny.org email address. So if you work for the district and you have that email address, you're expected to be responsible for student PII. How? If you receive it and you don't need it, you should delete it, get rid of it. If you do need it and you do need to share it, you need to be selective with who you share it with. So don't be handing out, if you get an email from somebody and you don't need it, you delete it. But if you do need to share it with somebody, you need to pick the people, not just district-wide. All right. Do not have, this is one for the teachers more so, but do not have students log into programs using their network username and password unless it's a program that's purchased by the district and pre-approved to have that happen. So examples, ClassLink, Microsoft, those type of programs that the district purchases. She's pretty fast at drawing, but they can't see it. I know, they're so excited. Okay. Oh. All right, so what does New York State require of us? On our school website, we have to post the Bill of Rights, data security privacy policies, data privacy fact sheets, which is part of that third-party contract, unauthorized disclosure form, my information has to be posted on there, and a section on data privacy, all of which can be found under the tech department on the website. All of this stuff that I just shared falls under the NIST cybersecurity framework, which requires that we provide training to all staff and cybersecurity. So if you guys have done the know before trainings, that falls into that. That's us providing. We did change some rules just recently because I was struggling with people that did not work for the district having a school email address. So about 6 months ago, anybody that has our email address was filtered, anybody new was filtered into a group and required to do the same trainings because they have access to our systems. So in that, when July 1st comes around, you guys will receive emails for the same training. Part of this cybersecurity framework is that I attend trainings and learn how to identify the equipment we have in district, how we protect it, how we detect if there's a breach, how to respond to those breaches, and how to recover data if it's lost. Okay. Points of interest from the tech department. In 2.5 years, the technology department has responded over to 9,000 help desk requests. And our phone rings multiple times a day, and the door, these guys knock on the door quite often. There's a few I see daily. Tech has implemented systems to organize and track the use of technology equipment throughout the district. We can, if it's in district, we can find just about any device. If somebody comes in and says they lost their computer, we can find it. Within the next few months, we'll be instituting multi-factor authentication, which will increase our NIST cybersecurity score. And we're developing a plan currently to deal with any cybersecurity incident that occurs. Did I cover it?
I think so.
Did I cover it fast enough?
There you go.
Because I saw the agenda.
I think we're good. Are there any questions?
Nope. Thanks, Bryce.
All right.
Yeah, were you trying to be quick?
Thank you.
I did, I was trying to be super fast.
Well, I thought the students had to be here for a certain amount of time.
Oh, we still got lots of time. to go.
Oh, okay. Do they have to be here for like?
I think it's 2.5 hours.
Is it? Oh, okay. Huh?
We wouldn't do that to them.
Oh, all right. Well, we can drag this out.
Oh, we can.
All right. Thank you for that presentation. The next presentation, long-term facilities plan and long-term financial plan. That'll be postponed till the next meeting as Karen McGarrett is ill tonight. The information is already posted on the website. There is the presentation that's along with it, so if anyone wants to take a look at it, come up with some good questions for Karen for the next meeting. Take a look. So we'll wait till next meeting for that presentation. Okay, so now we are on to communications. First one, public communications and Title VI Parent Advisory Committee. Do we have anybody? Public communications? Okay, Title VI, do we have Mr. Gill here?
I do not see Mr. Gill.
Oh, okay. He's at high school waiting for the meeting. Okay, I don't have any updates for Title VI. We didn't meet last month, so no new news. So that moves us on to central office message. That's you.
I just want to start with a couple of thank yous. We've had, in partnership with our family engagement events, I want to thank our PTO from both Seneca and Prospect for their partnership. We would not be able to pull off some of the events we've been pulling off without them. I also want to thank Kristen Dudek. She has put all of us in touch with Epic. She was instrumental in getting us in touch with them, and Epic will now become a partner just like PTO. Highly involved, and they'll be joining us at our next family letters. Just an update where we are academically. Our mid-year benchmarking is complete. Teachers have started looking at the data, and starting Monday for a good solid 2 weeks, we will be looking at the data as grade level teams, and we'll be creating targets and action plans from now until the end of the semester. And that leads us to February 28th, where our administrative team will be presenting our growth data from the last time we presented until your benchmark. Any questions on anything? Thank you.
Thank you. Like I said, Karen's not here, so we'll move on. As you all should be aware, whenever I run the meeting, I like to ask some questions. So let's see, who are we going to start with tonight? Chad Bartolzik, let's hear about athletics.
All right, so we are about 2/3 of the way through our winter seasons. Most of our sports are getting into their league play, and we've got about a month left of that prior to the start of the playoffs. We just posted for spring signups, which we have a ton of sports offered, and the signups are very important. It allows us to base scheduling and base practice times, and in some instances, decide if we're going to have an extra team or not. So spring signups has been important and valuable. So anyone who's here, please make sure you get on the Power School parent portal. And our district offers a ton in the spring. So we want to make sure we get as many people involved as possible. All right, we still also have some spring coaching vacancies that we posted, both internally and externally. And we're in the process of interviewing and talking to those individuals who will be partaking and hopefully joining our team. And in the PE realm, we started a pool unit for Seneca. So that's always very exciting.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Ray Haley, what do you got?
Since last meeting, we held our, Kent County come down and held a class, the TECC class, Casey was talking about. It stands for Tactical Emergency Casualty Care. And in short, it's kind of combat medic or stop the bleed training, learn how to apply tourniquets, that sort of thing, pressure dressings. We had like 65 people that attended that. It was really good. Doc Walters from Cat County, Chris Baker, and Bobby Boone put that training on. This weekend, we've got part 1 of our 16-hour on-the-job training for security guards, that'd be licensed security guards. Our technology safety company that we're working with, that's gonna be part of our camera system is, we're still working out a few bugs with that. We don't wanna say a whole lot about that.
Thank you. Very pretty. What do you got?
All right, so in the world of special education, we're humming along, we're mid-year already, which I cannot believe. I'll double check, I'll tell you, let me just give you a quick number. Of course, I closed the wrong tab. But we're well into, we've done several, new referrals this year. We have a lot of kids coming in, obviously the pandemic has impacted a lot of our kids' ability to learn effectively. We have some kids that have demonstrated quite a bit of need. So our speech therapists, occupational therapists, physical therapists, related service providers, counselors, social workers, psychologists, special ed teachers, everybody's been working their tails off, getting our kids evaluated, getting them through the process, giving the supports they need, working with the buildings to make sure we're providing the best supports we can for our kids. And this year, let's see, we're at as of today, we've held 158 meetings. That doesn't include, amendment, no meetings and things like that, other stuff, but we're at a good clip, and but our kids are getting taken care of. I did have some feedback from somebody recently that I wanted the board to at least hear while we have the opportunities that somebody who's worked in a BOCES before and said they've worked a lot of other districts, and they said Salamanca, the district, does more for their kids than most of the districts that they've worked with when they were BOCES employees. So those are kind of a feather in our caps for some resource and support we provide to our kids, particularly the ones with disabilities. So I just wanted to be aware I had unsolicited feedback from somebody, so it was appreciated. But yeah, keep plugging away. We're trying to develop relations with our families, inviting them in. Now that we're back to in person, it's fantastic. We have so many parents coming in, which is great. I'm sorry, one real quick thing. I apologize. We had a little kid come in today, preschooler. Kid comes in, we're about to have a meeting. She comes in with her parents. Kid walks up to me right in the middle, comes right up to me, doesn't even know me, gives me a hug. I melted. I'm done. What do you want, kid? Take whatever you want. It was fantastic. It was so good. That's why we do the stuff we do, right? These little kids that need our support, and they become these big guys over here, right? These big kids over here. So it's exciting to see you guys. So that's all. I'm just excited. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
All right.
So you already gave away the car for.
No, we're not trying to. We get appropriate.
Yeah.
Appropriate.
All right. Penny Beatty.
Okay, so like I said before, we continue to work on PD that goes on during the day, after school, and we're really beefing up looking at this summer. I sent out an email to set up our new Warrior Academy for August. Other things we're gonna have this summer. A new thing is there's a new science assessment. One is gonna be 3rd through 5th grade. And the assessment is given in 5th and 6th through 8th, which will be in spring of 24. So we've been having our teachers trained in the new science standards, the STEM kits, as well as these investigations that the children are going to have to do over those years to be prepared for the 5th or 8th grade test. Like Mrs. Giannici said, we're working on our data meetings, the grade levels, studying action plans. She also mentioned EPIC. We're working closely with EPIC, doing a lot of PD. We're doing some after school this summer as well. Our coaches we've been working really hard with teachers on power identifiers, like standards that they need to work on, and trying to push into the classrooms and run centers and model and right now what I can think of.
Well, thank you. Who else is hiding back here?
Yeah, Mr. Beaver.
Yeah. Thank you, Beaver. Go ahead.
There's a lot of things to celebrate. I feel like pre-K 7. So I'm just gonna rattle some things off. Yes, there's a lot of family engagement happening, but I think the most exciting part, not only having families in the building, but the students are creating work that they're really proud of and excited to share. And so that's really fun to see that, they're just so happy. It doesn't matter who they're reading their story to or who they're making a project with, they're just really happy. We finally have consistent report card for K to 7 or 6, standards based, not perfect, but it's in place, ready to rock and roll. We had an MTSS meeting yesterday. The interventionists pre-K to 7 met and they collaborated and they worked together to create intervention groups, which is really awesome to see them whether you're an ELA interventionist or a math interventionist, are working together and are having conversations about what's best for the whole child. That's really exciting.
Is that Aaron next to you?
See,
All right, Aaron Berry.
I was trying to just to kind of stem off of what Mrs. Jane said, as well as, the family engagement has really, been incredible. Just this past Friday, we had snacks and snowballs with our fourth graders. And I don't think anyone anticipates the amount of family members that showed up on that day. I think we had over 100, guests in our building that flooded the NPR. So don't tell security, probably were over occupancy. He wasn't there. He didn't say anything. But it was really incredible, the amount of families that came to support the students and the students be able to share their work. We have a fifth grade one coming up next Monday on the 30th, which is pastries and personal narratives. So we're looking forward to seeing the family. That one's going to be more in the classroom. Jeannie, she also talked about our mid-year assessments, our NWDA assessment, which we just finished administering last week. We kind of restructured the format of how those are being delivered. So rather than teachers kind of figuring out in their own schedule when to administer those, we made it more of a school-wide structured setting, kind of mimic the state assessments in a sense. So we had designated times that each grade level started, which really helped to make it consistent for the students. And we're in the process of pulling all those reports. And right now, just at first glance, while proficiency is important, we're really looking at the amount of growth that's occurring, and every grade level has been some exceptional growth that we're excited to share with you guys in a couple weeks. So we're gonna put some rewards in place for the classrooms with the highest growth, for the students with the highest growth. We're looking forward to celebrating those.
Awesome. So you mentioned sharing in a couple weeks. Does that mean we're gonna get a presentation?
February 28th.
Or 28? All right, awesome. Lynn McGarrett.
So, just backing off everybody, piggybacking over with the family engagement, pre-K here at Prospect had, a couple different days of pancakes and penguins where we had all kinds of parents come in and have pancakes, and they built some penguins and with their students, which was really cool. There also was, we had a daughter date night here, a dance where I think Mr. John was participating in that, and came with his daughter all dressed up, where a lot of dancing and lights and fun, just bring out, family members, whoever the daughter wanted to bring as a date. And we are planning a 1K through 6, a district literacy night for February 4th. February 3rd, sorry, that'd be a Friday. And Epic, as Mrs. Giudici had said, is going to play a big role in that. So keep that on your calendar, because that should be really interesting and fun night. We can have a different genre of books and literature. And then one thing I still wanted to share is that we are bringing more and more parents in continuously at the Seneca School to talk about students who may be having some behavioral issues or academic issues. So it's just great having families in and being part of the solution and the planning process, instead of us just dictating to the students to what's going to happen to parents. So it's just such a great thing having schools open and working more closely with the parents.
Awesome. Thank you. Is Kim out there or no?
Kim's currently at a conference.
Oh, okay. All right. Last but not least, I give you some time this time, Chris.
I know, I didn't bring a pen to write anything down.
All right, what do you got for us?
Right now at the high school, obviously, we're in the middle of our Regents midterm week. We had our first day today, it's very successful. Pretty much close to 100% attendance as far as kids showing up, so that was some good results. 8th grade is doing the NWBA testing this week, so we'll have those results coming up here beginning of February. I know at the beginning of February, it's February 9th, 8th grade is having their Big 4 literacy meeting, which we'll be working in basically NWA results to figure out some strategies and some action plans in place to help make a big push before the 8th grade assessment. As we're finishing up the first semester, there'll be a lot of schedule changes that will be happening here for next semester with kids taking new classes and things of that nature. As always, working with the seniors, because 5 months now, we started the year with 10 months, we're down to 5, you're halfway there. Graduation is right around the corner, so making sure that, we're providing all the opportunity for them to be successful and do what they need to do. We do have a couple of interviews coming up. One of our 8th grade TAs did take a job elsewhere, so we'll be interviewing for a replacement there. We also have our attendance officer applications that are coming in for high school. So hopefully we'll have that person in place by the end of February as well. And then lastly, we're planning a pancake breakfast, beginning stages of it for the end of February for students with honor roll, high honor roll, merit roll, and then also that would be for the first 2 mark periods, and then also excellent attendance. So bringing those kids in. I do know that at the end of the first marking period, we had like 202 students that we recognized for having merit roll, honor roll, or high honors. Pushing close to half the high school. So it's awesome. Well, I can come up with a few more things. That's pretty good. I think that's a nutshell.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Archie, do you have anything else other than your presentation?
Pretty exciting. We have 12 very large computers in my office that are for esports that are currently being set up. We're transitioning 7th grade to multi-user devices to help manage some of the stuff that's happening here. We tried to encourage a Mario Kart competition out of my office last week. Mark failed. He wouldn't even play.
The game on now.
It just helping kids maintain devices, keeping things up and running, the day-to-day good fun stuff. I love seeing, if you need something legitimately, I love seeing the kids in my office, but I enjoy seeing them always. Just an FYI, this is the last group of kids that I was classroom instructor for. This is my group. Mine all day, I tortured them. It's awesome.
I just want to say one more thing. A big shout out to our families who support workers in the Shayla. I meant to add that in earlier, but they've really taken an active support role this year and are really involved in a lot of different aspects of learning. And I just want to say thank you to them. They're appreciated here.
Awesome. Did I miss anybody out there? No? All right. We're going to move on to Board of Education message. Ted.
I'll just keep it short tonight. Just wanted to say glad to see everybody at a new location. It's a kind of different avenue here as opposed to where we usually do. All the new faces that come out, I know some are here by choice and others just came for the fun, but it's nice to see the students come out and see what we do along with the teachers being able to show a lot of what goes on, not during normal school hours. Also just the presentations earlier, just wanted to thank everybody for coming out tonight, showing us out what's going on. Taking a walk through the addition was kind of nice to see what everything's going about, how it's coming together. So it's good to see everybody and hope everybody has a good night.
Brad.
I want to thank all the presenters as well, and for me, safety is second to none, so I want to especially thank first responders for their willingness to work with our district. I know that resources are thin out there, so we appreciate it.
First response, yeah.
Yep.
Ditto, and also, I wish all the high schoolers luck on their exams this week. I know you're well prepared for them, so you're gonna knock it out of the park, but I still want to wish you luck. And I do like this venue, maybe a couple times a year, maybe we can have a meeting here.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of nice.
Thanks.
I don't really have much tonight. I just want to thank all of our staff again, as always, for doing all the hard work. Making us look good and also improving the education for all of our kids. Just a big thank you to each and every one of our staff members. That's it for me. We'll move on to superintendent.
Thank you. Just a couple of reminders. We'll recall back in November, the commissioner indicated that Native American mascots and schools with an identity that's also associated with a indigenous logo is no longer going to be permitted. We haven't had a significant amount of direction since that point in time, meaning the state education department put out a memo basically saying, we're not going to do this anymore. The districts are going to have to make a decision by the end of this academic year, so by June 30th. But they didn't tell us really much with regard to the guidelines, what's accepted, what's not accepted. There have been some recent conversations through an advisory board to the commissioner. But since that point in time, the district has had a couple meetings, both with the Seneca Nation of Indians to ensure that we are both more or less of the same mind and on the same page. I've also taken the opportunity to meet with student government at the high school several times. So I'd like to thank Mr. Happel, Mrs. Canali for that opportunity. We have our first public sort of forum tomorrow. So a couple dates, these are located right on our webpage. The first meeting is tomorrow, January 25th from 1 to 3 p.m. And then February 1st from 6 to 8 p.m. February 8th from 1 to 3 and from 6 to 8. And February 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. It is the goal of the district to gather information from the community and other stakeholders, both in person, electronically, in writing form. However that information should be conveyed to us, we are willing to accept it. As we begin and move through these hearings, we will shift some of the sort of control of these from the adults in the organization to some of the leaders of the student government. So we anticipate that the student government will have an active participation in these. This is a great learning opportunity for them, and this will affect the students of Salamanca significantly moving forward. Many of the questions that will be posed to sort of guide the sessions have been developed by our students, and those are what are going to be posed to the individuals who attend the sessions. All of the sessions will be recorded and archived and will be available on our website. The goal here is for this process to be entirely transparent as we have discussions about the identity of Salamanca and the logos and signage that we use to portray that identity. I don't have a timeline to say we will have a decision by this point in time. And part of that is because I don't have any guidance really from the state education department to tell us what to do or what not to do, or what will be permitted, if anything. But at this point, it seems like a timely or a point in time that we can begin to gather information and then collaborate moving forward. We have said previously, the school district will work and collaborate with the Seneca Nation of Indians. We will go through this process together and ensure that we, come to a decision that benefits all of our students in the community moving forward. It will not be a popular choice. It will not be the loudest voice that attends these sessions. It will be what is in the best interest of our students first, and then the community. So I do want to just extend my gratitude to the student government that has been involved at this point in time, and I look forward to working forward with them moving forward. We mentioned a couple times that, and we have first response here for a contract coming up to enhance our security officers and improve or increase the number of armed security personnel that we have on our campuses. A large portion of the time for these security officers will be outside, sort of controlling the outside environment of our schools. At one of our student government sessions, the question was asked, well, are these guys going to stop us? Are we seniors still going to be allowed to go for lunch? One of the benefits of working with a professional security corporation such as First Response is that they provide security for our students without being intrusive, meaning they're not going to stop you every time that you want to come in and out of the building. They are there to support you. They are there for your protection and for the protection of our adults. And the probable interactions that you will have with them will be, good morning, how are you today? Hope you have a great day. Just like with the security officers that we currently have inside cameras. So I just wanted to make sure that we're clear on the direction and scope of where we're headed with those officers. They are there to provide us with the safest environment conceivably possible. You're going to see shortly that we are also going to be talking about board goals. There are 4 big board goals. One of the goals is not safety. And that is because safety is simply a practice. It's not a goal. It is not something we're shooting for. It is a practice that we put in place every single day throughout the Salamanca School District. So while sometimes we look at, safety should be our first goal, it is what we do each and every day, because I will tell you, the board that you see here is 100% committed, as well as the adults that you see around you are 100% committed to the safety of our students, staff, and the community every day. I also wanted to just extend a thank you to all of our administrators. You've heard a significant increase in the number of community involvement that we have had, and a significant increase in the number of parents and family members that are in our schools. We believe it's absolutely important to have the community in our schools engaged with us and involved with our students. Our 4th board goal is to create a culture of trust throughout the Salamanca community. And one of those is to increase opportunities for student and staff to be leaders and for the community to partake in what's happening in the building. And that is has directly resulted in the increased number of opportunities for our parents and family members to be involved, all the way from pre-K all the way to high school. One thing that wasn't mentioned was we had a dance here at Prospect that was exceptionally well attended. And that's the first time we've had a dance here for adults and students, I don't know, in a very long time. Couple years. So it was a great opportunity to see everybody here again. And I just wanted to thank not only our teachers, but our administrators for helping to organize that, and for the parents for their involvement. Thank you.
And thank you. Okay, so next up on the agenda, we have our consent agenda. Approving Board of Education meeting minutes of January 10th. Board of Education special meeting retreat minutes, January 17th. Travel conference and overnight trips, where we have Dr. Beeler going to Allegheny Cattaraugus Superintendent's Retreat. We have Kathleen Stevens, Jennifer Hawkins, 3 students going to DECA State Competition. We have Rachel Wolf, Gerald Musial, and 15 students going for a Seneca History overnight trip to Ganondagan and Rochester Museum of Science. We have our CPSE recommendations, and I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items. Okay. Second. Brad, second. Any questions? No questions, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carried. All right, so now we're on to old business. We have policy number 6,000, Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA. Could I get or no, we're not taking action on this.
Yeah, we are just doing it for the cheat sheet.
Oh, we are taking action. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the old business of policy 6,000?
Motion.
Motion by Tad. Second. Second by Dale. Any questions? No? Dr. Beeler, can you give us a quick summary?
Yes, so this policy addresses the use of the Family Medical Leave Act. Previously, the policy required it to be used concurrently or at the same time as accrued time for our staff. So that would be times such as sick days that are contractually, we are contractually obligated to provide them. What that means is if an adult or one of our staff members is out for an extended period of time, say 7 days, they can use, previously, they would use their sick days, but they were also required at the same time to utilize their Family Medical Leave Act benefit. This separates those two, meaning a person may choose to keep that FMLA leave for something else in the future to further protect their benefits. So this is a good thing for our staff. It no longer, forces them to use up that time at the same time that they would normally be utilizing their sick days.
Thank you. Okay, we had a motion by Tad, second by Dale, all in favor? Right. Opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carried. All right, next up, we have new business. Item A, Board of Education goals for 2023. The goals are, we're looking to make students smarter, improve student reading on grade level by 10% annually, develop and implement personalized learning plans, improve tier 1 instruction and transition from RTI to MTSS, improve student attendance, provide support for students and families with attendance concerns, reduce chronic absence and at risk of chronic absence rates by 10% annually, diversity, equity, inclusion, develop and implement a district-wide DEI plan, provide a comprehensive review of 6 student policies annually, and then create a culture of trust, develop and implement a family engagement plan, and increase opportunities for staff and student leadership within the school district. Do I have a motion? Motion by Dale, second by Tad. Any questions? Dr. Beeler? Care to elaborate a little?
Certainly. Let's see, I believe it was in October that the school board had a retreat for the purpose of identifying school board goals. Those goals or those discussions led down or distilled down to the 4 goals that you see here. We really began working on these goals essentially the next day. We just had not set specific targets for some of them and began until today. Much of this work will continue at least throughout the remainder of this academic year. I anticipate that we will keep these goals for the next 2, 3, or even 4 years. They're relatively lofty, meaning they're overarching and big. The administrators in the school district and each one of the school buildings will then tailor some of their building goals. I know I am beginning to formulate my goals to align with these board goals. I believe Mrs. Giannici has done the same. Each one of the buildings has activities to support that. So by establishing, board level goals, it allows the rest of the levels within the district to align what they're doing and then begin to justify and ensure that we move forward in a consistent manner.
Thank you. Okay, we had a motion by Dale, second by Tad. All in favor? Right. Any opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carried. All right, next item, we have a budget transfer. Karen's not here to give us a little rundown, so I will accept the motion to approve the budget transfers. Motion. Is that Brad? Yeah. Second by Dale. Any discussion? Do you have anything on this, Mark?
Sure, I can share. This is sort of just an operational or procedural process. It does not change the overall budget. What we're really doing here at this point in time is moving allocated funds from one line item to another. For example, we may be a little bit over in salaries or extended salaries at Prospect, meaning funds that might be used for after school events, and those might have to shift to another building to cover that. So this is sort of just a procedure. When we think about balancing our checkbook, what this does is it allows us to do that. Karen does this throughout the school year, and we're just moving one from, say, one position to another position. But overall net, there is not a change.
Thank you. Okay, we had a motion by Brad, second by Dale. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion carried. Next up, we have our capital project allowance disbursements. This one is allowance disbursements for Beck Electric, Chautauqua Mechanical, DV Brown, and then it looks like a credit for Progressive Roofing. Do I have a motion? Motion. Motion by Tad. Second. Second by Brad. Any questions?
Certainly. So some of these are a result of what I refer to as change orders. One in particular. So as we're going through the capital project that we just walked through next door, while our architects and engineers spend an incredible amount of time ensuring that their drawings accurately depict what is going to actually play out as the construction phase moves forward. Sometimes some modifications need to be made throughout. In this particular case, one of these expenditures that we're authorizing here are due to some duct work that we saw that needed to be adjusted because the drawing or perhaps the engineers or perhaps even the materials were not available that were initially identified. So that's some of those increases. Another one is for a leak in room 110 at this building. So for those who work in this building, we know that 110 has had a persistent problem with water. We had anticipated replacing that roof, but due to an escalation in cost, that was not replaced this past summer. Well, now it's leaking. So with all of the rain and the freeze thaw, water has been coming in and we had to contract to have, we can't stop the leak. So all we're doing is capturing the water and routing it to another location. So that's what some of these costs are for. And then the progressive roofing is actually for a change in our benefit, meaning they're providing us essentially with a credit of almost $4,000.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, we had a motion by Tad, second by Brad. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carried. Okay, item D, create positions and abolish position. This is where we're looking to create confidential secretary and abolishing the account clerk typist. Can I get a motion? Motion. Motion by Dale. Second. Second by Tad. Any questions?
So this is, thank you. This is kind of exciting, actually. This is for Mrs. Cecila. She is getting essentially a promotion. So while it indicates that we're creating a position and abolishing a position, there's not really going to be a change other than a change in her title. So for the benefit of our students, every person in the district either works through a certified, meaning like a teacher, or a classified position through civil service. Many of our secretarial staff have a variety of different titles, from the account clerk to, in this case, confidential secretary. So she is actually getting a promotion. She started with us as an account clerk typist. She took an exam through the county, passed that, and is now being elevated to what's referred to as a confidential secretary.
Okay. Motion by Dale, second by Tad. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? Motion carried. All right, we're on item E. This is the issuing a secret negative declaration for purchases and leases of 7 parcels of real property. Not going to read all of this. So I will entertain a motion to approve. Motion. Second. Who's that first? Brad. Okay, motion by Brad. Second by Dale. Dr. Beeler.
Let's see. So upcoming, the community will be having a vote on whether or not to purchase 7 pieces of property that are close to the Iroquois campus. What this is doing is saying we don't have a designation at this point in time for these properties. So what would normally happen is that we would have to do an environmental study to determine, let's say we were to put a ice cream shop there. What would the effect? We're not putting an ice cream shop there, sorry. But in the event we were going to put an ice cream shop, that's actually kind of a good idea now that I think about it. If we were, what would be the environmental impact? Because we aren't designating what we're going to use this space for, we do not have to go through that study, and that's what this is stating.
Okay, thank you. We had a motion by Brad, second by Dale. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carried. All right, so next we have the resolution for specifying in detail the necessity for the acquisition of 7 particular parcels of real property in the city of Salamanca, New York, and there's listed them. I'm not going to read this long resolution either. I will entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Tad. Second. Second by Brad. Dr. Beeler?
Certainly. So this is going to be a resolution where we will identify exactly why we are looking to purchase these particular pieces of property.
Okay. Motion by Tad, second by Brad. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? Motion carried. All right, item G. This one is a resolution for the acquisition of, by the district of the 7 particular parcels of real property located in the city of Salamanca. Is there anything different with this one, Janet? What's the difference?
No, but I'm gonna suggest that we read the title prior to vote,
Okay.
just because of the printing, how it printed on the agenda, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I think G is okay,
Yeah,
starting
G,
with
G
H.
is okay, when we get to H, that's where,
I would be
kinda
happy to
gets-
read that for you. Mr.
well, that's,
Jack.
I gotta pull
Oh,
it
all
up.
right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
G kind of ran into the 4th paragraph, that's right. Well, see.
Would you like me to read G? Would you feel more comfortable?
I would, because I have to document.
I would
and
be
I have
happy to, I
sign
would be happy
Saying
to.
that it was done. Thank you. Or I.
Okay with me reading it?
Absolutely.
Right. So G is a resolution of the Board of Education of the Salamanca City Central School District, Cattaraugus County, New York, the district dated January 24th, 2023, authorizing the acquisition by the district of 7 particular parcels of real property located in the city of Salamanca, New York as follows. 1 parcel of vacant land on Front Avenue and 2 parcels of vacant land on Fern Avenue at an aggregate purchase price of $90,000. Parcel B, a parcel at 679 Front Avenue at a purchase price of $80,000. C, an unnumbered parcel located on Fern Avenue at a purchase price of $75,000. D, the rear portion of the parcel at 168 Center Street at a purchase price of $70,000. And E, a parcel at 2 Fern Avenue at a purchase price of $40,000. And including in each of those, any underlying leases associated therewith.
And then perhaps people, if they want to see the actual resolution, since it didn't print very well, it is all online on the agenda.
Yep.
And attachments are also attached for backup. for
Yeah,
all
under
of these.
public content on the board docs, it is attached here.
Thank you.
There's just a lot of reading in there. I'll entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Dale.
Second.
Is that Ted?
Yes.
Second by Ted.
Was that Pat?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, motion by Dale, second by Ted. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion approved. All right, so we are on to item H.
Would love to read it.
Yes.
All right. H is a resolution of the Board of Education of the Salamanca City Central School District, Cattaraugus County, New York, the district. Adopted January 24th, 2023, determining that a special voter meeting and vote of the qualified voters of the district shall be held on March 21st, 2023. Directing that a proposition shall be submitted to such voters at such meeting and vote. And prescribing the form of legal notice to be published for such meeting and vote.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll entertain a motion to approve. Was that Brad?
Yes.
Motion by Brad, second by
Second.
Ted B. All right. Motion by Brad, second by Ted. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carried. Okay, now that brings us to I, the district special meeting and vote development calendar. This one is be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education approves the attached March 21, 2023 special meeting and vote development calendar. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion by Dale.
Second.
Second by Brad. Any discussion? Mark, real quick.
Certainly. So as we begin to move through the previous resolutions, actually, I shouldn't say we, Ms. Cook has assembled a calendar that is required so that we can all see the steps that are necessary moving forward. And this establishes March 21st, 2023 as the date that the vote will occur to determine whether or not the community wishes to purchase those pieces of property.
Okay. All right, we had a motion by Dale, second by Brad, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? Motion carried. All right, that brings us to item J. Wait, is that the right one? Okay, item J. All right, Board of Elections, voter registration day, special meeting and voter registration workers. Do we need to read this one?
I don't think you have to, but you could, and people know.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go, Mark.
Shot there, all right. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, that the Salamanca City Central School District Board of Education authorizes the district clerk to work with the Cattaraugus County Board of Elections for the intention to advise, assist, train, and election services in district budget votes, elections, and special votes for the 2022-2023 school year be approved. And be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, whereas personal registration of voters is required pursuant to the requirements of section 2606 of the New York State Education Law, now be it resolved that the registration date for the school district special meeting and vote to be held on Tuesday, March 21, 2023, be and hereby is established as February 27th, 2023, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. in the district clerk's office, 734 Broad Street, Salamanca, New York, 14779. A register containing names of registered voters will be available upon request to taxpayers within this district between the hours of 8 a.m. prevailing time and 3 p.m. prevailing time from February 28th, 2023 to March 21, 2023, exclusive of Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays at the office of the district clerk located at the district office, 734 Broad Street, Salamanca, New York, 14779. And now be it resolved that the special meeting and vote be set for Tuesday, March 21, 2023, from 12 noon to 9 p.m. in the high school gymnasium. And now be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the following applicants be and hereby are appointed as voter registration worker for the school district special meeting and vote. Budget vote, Board of Education election, and voter registration days, and for any special elections or special votes for the 2022-2023 school year. Janet L. Cook, District Clerk, current salary, Carmen A. Beccarella, $19 per hour, be approved.
Thank you for that. And motion by
Motion.
Dale, second by Tad.
Second.
Okay, got a motion by Dale, second by Tad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, motion carried. All right, now we're on item K, the contract and with First Response Protection and Security Corps. Be resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education approves the contract with First Response Protection and Security Corps in the amount according to the contract for armed security professionals and authorizes the superintendent to execute the contract be approved. Do we have a motion? Motion. Motion by Brad, second by Tad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carries. All right, now we're on to item L. Award contracts, capital project phase 3.4, high school district office addition and alterations. Be resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, based on the bids received and recorded on January 12, 2023, Turner Construction Company has completed scope reviews with each parent low bidder. The bids are in accordance with the contract documents and all four alternates were accepted in each case. It is therefore recommended to accept the bids and award the contracts to the following lowest responsive and responsible bidders. Bid 1, A&F Trucking Site Work, $870,062. Bid 2, Huber Construction General Trades, $6,708,000. Bid 3, AW Farrell and Son Roofing, a co-op purchase, $587,750. Bid 4, William T. Spader Plumbing, $458,600. Bid 5, MLP Plumbing and Mechanical Incorporated for mechanical services, $2,748,250. Bid 6, Beck Electric for the electrical services, $2,351,000. Bid 7, William T. Spader for fire protection, $120,500. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Dale,
Second.
second by Tad. Any questions, discussion? No? I'll leave you off the hook on this one. All right, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion carries. And with that, that brings us to our personnel consent agenda. Okay. Okay, we have a personnel consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion. Motion by Brad,
Second.
second by Tad. Any discussion?
Yes, I believe we have at least one or two individuals that are going to become new warriors this evening. Mrs. Berry, would you like to talk about Mrs. Merrill?
Sure. We are so excited to welcome Catherine Merrill back home to Salamanca and appoint her as our seventh grade social studies teacher at Clinic Intermediate. He graduated a warrior and went on to receive a bachelor's in history from the University of Buffalo and her master's from Canisius College in secondary education. She has devoted the past 18 years of her career teaching social studies at the middle school level at Cat Little Valley. In the classroom, she is focusing on creating engaging lessons which connect her students' interests, places a high priority on social emotional learning and build strong relationships with her students, for use of restorative practices, coaching, tutoring, and mentoring. In addition to her teaching career, Katie has served as a varsity track and field coach since 2005 and the assistant cross-country coach in her district. Her involvement, her commitment to students, and her experience will be a great asset to our school. Welcome home, Katie.
Congratulations.
We also have Mrs. Happels. Welcome. Mr. Siebert, are you going to talk about Mrs. Happels?
I can. She's a district employee though. She'll be, Lindsay's joining us. We have worked with Lindsay a number of years now, but she's been on a little bit of a hiatus from us the last couple of years. She's been working with our ESL students throughout the whole district. Currently, we have a large need to fill that void for our students that are on board with us. So we kind of stole her back and are more than, willing and waiting for her to join us and help provide all the different services that she's going to provide for us. Also, during the time that we've known her, she's done just an absolute fantastic job with our students. So really looking forward to having her back with us.
All right. I'm going to just mention a couple words as well. I knew her as Miss Trito well before, she got married to Mr. Happel back there. So it'll be another really great addition, working with not only with our ESL students, but helping many of our students, particularly at our elementary grade levels, with just reading and writing across the board. So we're really looking forward to welcoming you essentially back in a full-time status. So we're really excited. Thank you.
Congratulations. Now it's time for your speech. Yes.
Well, I was wondering about it. I'm just so thankful for this opportunity and I'm very excited to be part of the Warrior family. For 12 years, I've worked with English language learners here and I'm just looking forward to expanding the amount of students that I'm able to reach. And I'm very grateful for it.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, we saw Captain Merrill was on, but we were just wondering if she has a speech for us as well.
I am just looking forward to making the transition and coming on down to Salamanca.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Have anybody else?
Let's see. Do we have anyone else? Oh, my friend, anyone else that I'm overlooking? There are a couple new folks that I know we will welcome when we see them in person. I did also just want to acknowledge that Mr. Cannon has put in his resignation. It's always one of those sort of mixed emotions when we see one of our educators retire. We're happy for them, but we're disappointed because we're not going to see them. At an upcoming meeting, we'll recognize Mr. Cannon and any of our other retirees in a more formal manner.
Okay, great. All right, so we had a motion to approve the consent or the personnel consent agenda, personnel action items. Motion was by Brad, second was by Tad. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carried. All right, next we have item C under the personnel consent agenda, confidential secretary managerial contract for Suzanne Cieslak. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Tad, second by Dale. Any questions? Dr. Beeler?
So you may recall a little bit earlier, I talked about that promotion from clerk typist or account clerk typist to confidential secretary. As such, she has a contract that we work with her to negotiate, and this is the approval. So for our students, we had to create the position for her to go into. We then eliminated the position that she was in, and now we're approving the contract to that clearly outlines her expectations for us and our expectations for her.
Okay. Motion by Tad, second by Dale. Do I have all in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? Motion carried. Okay, item D, the substitute rate. We are changing substitute bus drivers from 16 an hour to based upon experience, and substitute retired bus drivers from 23 per hour to based upon experience. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion. Motion by Dale. Who was the second? Second by Brad. Any discussion? Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. And that brings us to, introduction of newly appointed staff. We've already introduced the staff. And then we are on board 9, board information reports and discussions. There we had the second reading of the FMLA Act, revised IAC meeting minutes from December 14th, IAC meeting minutes from January 11th, and our upcoming events. We are not doing an executive session tonight, right?
That is correct.
Okay, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Dale. Second by Brad. Any questions? Discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? All right, motion carried. We are adjourned. Thank you all. Appreciate you all coming.
Students.